The LAAT Gunship is one of the most prolific ships in all of Star Wars. Although it was introduced in 2002 with the film Attack of the Clones, I feel like it is more well known from the Clone Wars show, appearing in 72 out of the 133 episodes. This also translated to the Bad Batch, where it appeared in most of those episodes, as well as 3 total movies and countless games. But across all appearances, it retains that familiar sound that is instantly recognizable if you grew up with the Clone Wars like me. From the very first scene that we saw the low-altitude assault gunship, it makes a big impression. Mounted laser pods on the side flood the screen with green lasers, slicing droids down left and right, as they save several Jedi from what looks like certain doom. And from there, they're locking and loading their missiles, they're getting clone troopers, they are deploying guys to the front line, they're going in to blow everything up, and it's so awesome, and I just love the Clone War. Yeah, I'm calm now. When Lucasfilm was working on Attack of the Clones, internally they referred to this ship as the Jedi Attack Helicopter, and that's because it took heavy inspiration from helicopters in the Vietnam War, including the inspiration of its sliding door design from the American Huey, and the cockpit design from the Russian Mi-24 with the dual canopy design and the 2 pilots so that one can focus on flying and one can be the gunner in charge of shooting all the missiles and stuff. It's my personal opinion, but I think they totally nailed the design, and it became a fan favorite as they continued to include it in Star Wars media. The Republic used these things a lot. I mean, it was their main transport for getting troops from their capital ships in space down to planets for invasions, humanitarian efforts, and more than that, they were like the Jedi taxis, just moving troops around from place to place, even on the surface. And it does make sense. They were pretty fast compared to other gunships of the time, and they featured repulsor lift technology, allowing it to hover in one place without moving in a particular direction, again inspired by helicopters in real life. But when it comes to doing the sound design for the original appearance in Attack of the Clones, Ben Burtt and friends went out to record the Vickers-Vimy biplane, which was used as the base engine sound, with many more industrial sounds added to it. But one of its most important additions was the rhythmic pulsing sound that is created using the Doppler effect, which you can learn about in this video here. The intention using this was to make it sound like it was a lot heavier duty than some of the lighter, higher pitched starfighters, in the same way that, for instance, a diesel truck, it sounds like it can tow more weight than a gas truck could. In that same way, the LAAT could carry a lot more weight and cargo than your lighter weight starfighter. The doors, as mentioned earlier, had a sliding design like the Huey, but unlike the Huey, they have a split in the middle. So the front half can go forward and the back half can go back, depending on the situation, so that you could increase the throughput of the troops, avoiding any risk of men getting stuck in there. The maximum capacity of one of these bad boys would be 30 troopers, and that is quite a bit, so you'd want those doors to be able to swing wide open to get everyone out as quick as possible. The doors also featured shutters that could open and close for some reason. I guess they could be used to put a blaster through there to provide more cover if they didn't want to open the doors, but they never do that. So I don't know, maybe they needed some ventilation to air out the Yoda stank or something. I don't know. The point is, they look really cool, and they have some nice hydraulic sounds to match. In terms of weaponry, these things really earn the title of gunship, having 3 standard ball turrets, 2 on the front, and 1 cute little guy in the back. Missile launchers can be found under the wings and on the front of the engines for either air-to-air use or air-to-ground use. It also had the option to put these really cool ball turrets on the front that could either be equipped with beam turrets or lights, depending on the mission, with the former almost exclusively used on Geonosis, although you would think it would be helpful for other battles as well. And this is one of those unfortunate cases where the sounds are crazy inconsistent across its appearances, but I have tried to cover all the eras here. Cargo is one of the things that the LAAT excelled at. Like I said before, it could carry 30 troopers, which is an entire platoon, but it could also carry up to 4 speeder bikes, or an ATRT that could be deployed out of the back ramp. In addition to this, the LAAT-C model, the C standing for cargo, could carry an ATTE Walker, or one of those cool laser tank thingies. I always thought that they could carry a turbo tank too. This was entirely based off of it working that way in a LEGO set. Now I realize in universe, the turbo tank is much too large and has to be deployed with an acclimator. So that's why you don't see that happening in the show. All things considered, the LAAT was sort of durable, I guess, and apparently featured a super dispersive layer that was supposed to spread laser fire out over the hull to lessen its impact. In practice, these things went down pretty easy and often needed protection from a fighter escort. When you look at other ships used by the Republic, you see a lot of revisions. The V-19s are replaced by the V-Wings and Z-95s, the Delta 7 was replaced by the ETA-2, but the LAAT was used throughout the entire war and beyond into the Empire days. And this just goes to show how solid of a design it was and how popular it was with fans. Its silhouette is instantly recognizable, it sounds iconic, and it just screams cool. I always wanted the LEGO set when I was a kid, and it wasn't until recently that we built one for my stop motion project, and I could stare at that thing for hours. The design and the colors are just amazing. It's just one of my favorite ships of my favorite era of my favorite franchise. But hey, that's just me. What do you think of the Republic LAAT gunship? Do you think it's topped by another gunship or transport? Tell me in the comments below, and check out the sounds linked below in the vault. Thank you for watching, and remember,
This is the way. This is the way.